What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Make sure to follow us on all social at WrestleStar and on YouTube for more wrestling content. So today we are going to be discussing AEW's plans for Rampage. Now, this video is a few days after the news was reported, but I find it very interesting, and I find it to be an interesting topic because of what AEW Rampage has gone through really since its inception. Right? When it first started, just like all shows, right? They loaded up. They had CM Punk's promotional debut on AEW Rampage in Chicago, a live edition, right? Everyone's like, oh, this is a good show. They loaded up. It had a different presentation. It was fun. It was fun. As time went on, lower stars, nothing really happens, right? You can have Kenny Omega in action, but if nothing happens, no storylines are built up to it, during it, or coming out of it, what are we doing with top-tier talent, right? So, and then in recent months, it's been pushed around due to preemptions because of TNT's coverage of the NBA and NHL playoffs. And they've actually done very well in the ratings considering how many times they've been moved and what hours in which they air. I understand that they're doing really bad ratings right now, but like considering, it's not that bad. And especially when they do like a one-off, it's really not that bad. But everything will change with AEW Collision that is reportedly premiering on Saturday, June 17th. It's a 2-hour program that will be built around the returning CM Punk, expected to be announced during the Wednesday, May 17th Warner Bros. Discovery Upfront's presentation in Madison Square Garden, as well as the new TV deal with AEW. Now, with Collision comes changes with Rampage. Now, before this show, AEW decided, okay, we're going to nix Dark and we're going to nix Dark Elevation with the idea of kind of turning Rampage into that show. Because you have a 2-hour Dynamite and a 2-hour Rampage. What are you going to do with, or a 2-hour, Collision? What are you going to do with Rampage, right? So it's been reported that, look, Rampage is going to be turned into using younger stars and kind of squash matches. Now, Sean Ross Sapp had an interesting note this week on Fightful Select when he stated, as you can see, AEW Rampage, we're told, will become more resembling what WBF once was. And it added that, look, using independent talent, which was what basically Dark and Dark Elevation was built on. You'd have your contracted talent defeating independent talent. You'll have that more on ROH. So what that tells me, and going back to Heat, because WB didn't necessarily use just independent talent, they used also lower tier talent. What that tells me is you're not going to have like straight up squash matches. You're kind of going to have like what main event is now, what Superstars was, not back in the freaking 90s, but like when they revived it in 09 or whatever. That's what AEW Rampage will be. But it will resemble an old WB program in WBF Heat, WB Heat, which aired from 98 to 2008. So let me know what y'all think down in the comments area below about AEW's grand plans for Rampage.